This is Rogers TV.
Oxford County Council has delayed adopting major updates to its long-range population and land needs forecasts after a lengthy and sharply divided debate. The report projects substantial population, housing and employment growth across all 8 municipalities through 2061. Planning staff warned that most communities will eventually need more designated land to meet provincial requirements for future housing and job growth. But councillors raised concern about real-world impacts, from farmland loss to water capacity, hydro availability, school pressures and healthcare shortages. Some argued delaying adoption risks worsening housing affordability, while others said approving it without understanding service impacts would be irresponsible. Warden Marcus Ryan says council isn't rejecting growth, but wants to understand its implications.
The province of Ontario gives municipalities population growth forecasts and require that we do land use planning to accommodate that growth. Council got the numbers and had a lot of questions for staff and a robust debate around, what does this actually mean to our community to grow to these numbers?
After 2 tied votes, one to adopt and one to defer, council eventually settled on a compromise, asking staff for a short-term report outlining which county documents must be updated and whether any existing infrastructure gaps could prevent growth over the next 20 years. Staff will present the follow-up report before council makes its final decision.
All those in favor?
So this is the 4th budget we've done, and it was 2% after doing 0 for 3 years. So we're in an interesting position. First of all, as many people know, we lost some land to St. Thomas, but with that, we were compensated $15 million, which we have in the bank, plus another 15% of wastewater capacity going forward. So we wanted to show the average person and the average ratepayer that we appreciate what they're doing, and I think it works out too with a little bit of wastewater increase and taxes, about $5 per month on the average home. 1% tax increase for Central Elgin is $170,000. So we're putting it up 2%. That's $340,000. And with that, we've earmarked things like improvements to the fire services, health and safety issues, and some, as I say, $13 million in investments. Some of that comes from reserves, but you'll see road work, sidewalks, a new washroom for Little Beach and Port Stanley, and it's spread out through the whole community. So it's Belmont, it's Port Stanley, New Sarum, Union, Lyndhurst, it's everyone gets their piece.
A major joint police investigation has taken dozens of illegal guns and a large quantity of fentanyl off London's streets. 11 people are facing more than 200 charges after a year-long probe known as Project Alias. The investigation began in late 2024 after a spike in gun violence. As police followed the evidence, they uncovered several interconnected criminal networks, trafficking firearms and drugs across Ontario. 14 search warrants were executed earlier this month in London and Toronto. Officers seized 31 crime guns, all traced to U.S. states, including Texas, Georgia, Florida, and Michigan. They also recovered 12.5 kilos of fentanyl, enough for 125,000 potentially lethal doses, along with cocaine, cash, jewelry, and prohibited devices capable of converting handguns into fully automatic weapons. London Police Chief Tai Trung says the results represent a significant step towards improving public safety.
Removing illegal firearms and dangerous drugs from our community prevents violence.
Police say the case grew directly from last year's shooting outside London Health Sciences Centre. 9 suspects are in custody and 2 remain outstanding. The investigation into the origins of the drugs and firearms is ongoing.
EarlyON programming in Middlesex will see expanded hours thanks to funding from Middlesex County's 2026 budget. Director of Library Services, Lindsay Brock, explains.
The bulk of our programs happen during the day, especially mornings and early afternoons, and so this investment from Middlesex County Council will allow us to offer evening programs and Saturday programs really around the county, which is something that we've heard from caregivers and families that may have, schedules that don't align with our typical service hours. So we're really excited to launch that programming.
There are 10 locations that offer EarlyON programs in Middlesex County. They are free for children aged 0 to 6 with their caregivers to learn, play, and build connection.
Parenting is hard, and we need to support each other. And it's great, and it's an interactive. It's not just drop your kids off. It takes a village to raise kids, and this is the heart of the village, the library.
It's also about linking caregivers and families with resources and supports. So it's not just, entertaining the children and creating those learning environments. It's about introducing families to new skills, new resources, different community agencies, and really being community connectors throughout the county.
So firstly, I have to be 100% honest. We saw that St. Thomas had done a similar project. We're very interested in that. And we contacted the Y and made a deal for Central Elgin residents, because accessibility, the number of people that can use it, old, young, it's affordable, accessible, and good news for our citizens. So the pilot project entails one-time use or a family pass of up to 10 or 10 individual tickets that range from $3.50 to $6. But again, we've had a lot of inquiries so far, so I think it's overall being well received.
Canadian Blood Services is calling on Canadians nationwide to help with donating blood or plasma.
With the current winter conditions and seasonal illness, it's taken quite a big toll on blood and plasma collections, namely in the local areas, London, St. Thomas, Woodstock, Strathroy, with appointments being canceled, donations not necessarily being fulfilled. Obviously, it's tough for people to get out of their house right now with the weather and the road conditions. Major storms, extreme cold conditions, they've disrupted our regular blood and plasma collections.
Myers says hospitals have the blood they need today, but that could change if a consistent supply is not collected.
I mean, it's definitely a call to action. So, have a look at the website, book your appointment this winter to donate. It's the ultimate feel-good antidote to the winter blues. And do know that every donation helps patients in Canada, in the London area, in every area, and that's something you can feel good about.
If you've never donated before, there's no better time to begin.
The team here makes it really easy, so it doesn't take a lot of effort. You can do it on a lunch hour, which is what I typically do. And then when you come in, you can enjoy a great snack when you're all done after having some good chats with new people here too.
One of the parts that surprised me the most was that when I started giving plasma, I can do it every 6 days. And that, to me, that was remarkable.
Be part of something that matters and experience what you get when you give. The London Donor Centre is open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and open on all stat holidays. Walk-ins are welcome, but if you'd like to book an appointment, visit blood.ca.
Central Elgin Fire Rescue was one of 25 Ontario fire departments to receive a $5,000 donation from Enbridge Gas Ontario. The money will be used to help buy training materials through the Safe Community Project Assist, a program with the Fire Marshal's Public Fire Safety Council.
These textbooks, the 25 departments, are in departments like Central Elgin, some smaller departments up north where funding is very limited. The fact that Enbridge is willing to invest in firefighter training helps small departments, helps mid-sized departments in ways they wouldn't be able to help themselves.
In 2021, the province implemented a mandatory certification process to get all firefighters, whether they are volunteer, part-time, or full-time, to the same National Fire Protection Association standards. In Central Elgin, there are 100 firefighters at 4 stations, all of them volunteers.
Rather than having to send people out to do training elsewhere, we can now have the textbooks, have the resources to do the training in department so that our members don't have to travel far distances to take these courses.
Not only do the textbooks help the firefighters, but they also help the trainers.
But also it's going to benefit our training committee and our fire training officers, so they have that that foundation and that base to teach from, creating lesson plans, creating course curriculum, all those items. So these textbooks are paramount for the succession of that training program.
And the donation comes at the perfect time, as the mandatory NFPA certification needs to be completed by July 1st of this year.
Just to ensure the same level of coverage in every aspect of the province.